Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news, discussion, and of course, a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm Weiry Writer, and I have show and tell today.
Wow.
So none of us could remember if we've shown this off on an episode yet, but I got the Series 2 postcards.
The Series 2s look really nice. They actually look really nice.
So we have Shadesmar, which I think should be Lasting Integrity, because it is Lasting Integrity.
It is Lasting Integrity.
Patchy.
Very scenic. It will kill you.
Kilahito.
Ooh,
which,
love
like,
that.
Neon, great aesthetic.
Always good.
The Emerald Sea, the Shattered Plains, and Elendel.
Nice.
And I also got some pins that I think these debuted at Dragonsteel.
I think they did.
Nexus.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now you can
we
get
have the 000 for Series 3, which is Peter.
Hell yeah.
We have World Hopper Hoid, which is kind of based on the design we saw from the Year of Sanderson Kickstarter art piece
by Howard Lyon.
Yes. And then we have a 2-pack of Starling in both of her forms. I reject the description that says one is a human form and one is a dragon form, because they are both dragon forms.
Yeah, unfortunately, the language around the dragon's 2 forms is difficult.
And then people who backed the Year of Sanderson may remember the stained glass coasters.
They're really nice.
From the Warbreaker box. And I bought a lamp to put them in. It's from an Etsy shop called AAKS Printing. And it looks really cool. So we
probably
finally
put
have
a
display for them.
Yeah, I'll put that link in the description. It looks awesome. And like, I know people have been talking about it. So, and I know my wife wants to get it. So
yeah, because like as soon as we got them, I'm like, oh, I don't want to use these as coasters. Like, I want some sort of illuminated display to actually show off that they're stained glass. And I finally, somebody on staff who I don't remember who it was posted about it. And I'm like, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah, as coasters, I find when I have a cold drink, it kind of sticks to the coaster. And so I think they're also just like a little too nice for me to want to use them as coasters, for sure. So I think having the lamp makes a lot of sense.
And like you can get it like the frame in different colors. I just liked black the best.
If you are listening or otherwise unable to visit the description for some reason, Apex Printing Studio is the name of the Etsy shop. And they also have like other things. There's also some like Red Rising merch and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like other random stuff too for displays and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Also joining us, we have Evgeni. What's up?
Whoa, I'm Argent. I don't have show and tell except for these cough drops that
Crystal Cherry.
I ran a poll some time ago where I've had these before. And I had to resupply, or I wanted to resupply, because I think they're really good for like if you are speaking for a long time. They really keep your throat fresh. They had different flavors, and I opened the flavor that I should purchase to a vote. And people, for some odd reason, picked cherry, even though I think that was the least appealing option. But the cherries have been decent. So
I feel like cherry is just the classic cough drop flavor.
It is
only in America, though.
That's the problem, though, right? Like, I have one of these, and my brain goes, "Oh, this is Sepso."
In Australia, the strawberry is like the default, which is honestly strictly better. And so Jess is constantly like, "Why does America like cherries so much? Like everything is cherry flavored. This is crazy."
It is. It is actually. No, but I myself am like a lemon, menthol, like eucalyptus, like that family of cough drops.
Thumbs down. Get beheaded in the gladiatorial arena for that.
Wow.
Unacceptable.
Wow.
We gotta start strong.
I'm sorry. I like the classics.
Well, I guess more for you. I guess that's good. Great. Also joining us, which almost looks like a shadowed Brandon Sanderson hand about to get you to be. Oh, okay. Hi. Oh, okay. That looks significantly less menacing when you're not covering his face. But that's the image from Nexus and the release party, I think. Yeah. But it's Adim. Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm X. No show and tell.
No show and tell. I'm Chaos, and I guess by the time this episode comes out, not by the time we recorded it, the Hoid Storybook Kickstarter is out, actually. And I don't know what the tiers are, so I can't tell you, but it's there. I'll put the link in the description for that too. Hey.
Yeah, they've started the hype building with some animations of Hoid and design that are very cute. Design, I love design so much.
Design is always the best.
Animation is great. The voice actors are doing a great job. The animators are doing a great job. And that's also, for those of you who might remember, there was a little promo thing with Vin running over the streets of London for London MCM.
Oh, right.
The same animation studio that did that is doing this. So it seems like Dragonsteel has found a team that they like working with for these like little animated projects. And I think it's a good fit. And I would love to see more of them.
Nice.
Obviously, like doing a full show would be insane, and we're not talking about that. But like little, 2 to 5 minutes, like almost animatic, like animations. Beautiful work.
But yeah, check out the Kickstarter. We're recording. Sorry, it's on BackerKit, right? Because it's not. Sorry,
it is a BackerKit
crowdfunding campaign. Sorry,
that's what it's called.
It is that. That is what it's called. I mean, BackerKit
can't call them by their competitor's name.
That's fine. Sorry. But anyway, that's out. And so, Fires of December's with that. So cool. Anyway, we made absolutely awful time with Words of Brandon the last 2 episodes. And so we are still not done with the Nexus Words of Brandon. Unlike what Adim thought, where he's like, oh, I thought we were doing spoiler stream mobs. I'm like, no. No, we're not there yet.
Not on this show, brother.
Not on this show. So we are going to continue going at that slow pace. I don't know. We'll see how long the episode is. I have no idea.
We might go faster. I have hope in us.
It's theoretically possible. I mean, having one less person definitely makes a difference.
That's true. Yes.
But anyway, let us go on into the WoB mode. Ian, so why don't you start us off with a thing that I've always been curious about in Wind and Truth?
Okay.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. This questioner asks, there's a line kind of feels like a throwaway line that Wit makes in Wind and Truth. And I don't know if I'm way off base here, but he's spiritual realm Wit, made of investiture, and he jokes about this being how the Iriali feel all the time. The Iriali also have this religion where they believe they are one being, having various inaudible. Are the Iriali beings of investiture? Are they like avatars of a shard? Brandon, they are human beings. If you test them genetically, any test you could do on them would find them indistinguishable from other human beings, save that they have some of the weirdness that goes on in the Cosmere, the way hair manifests and things like that. But you would be like, these are people. What they're saying that they are is religious and philosophical. Now, they might have some interesting investiture from where their origins were that also can maybe lend a little credence to them, but only in a sort of philosophical and religious way, where they can say, here is evidence of what we say, where an Arcanist would be like, this is no more than the fact that Rosharans have some native investiture themselves that prevents them from getting tooth decay and things like that. The common cold was a plague that eventually just died out on Roshar because the people are strongly invested enough that they've got this force keeping them healthy. The Iriali have something like that. An Arcanist would be like, yeah, this is not proof that you're... And they're like, it's okay. you are actually also part of the one, so your perspective is also valid.
So just for context, the quote. So it's in chapter 50 of Wind and Truth, and so Wit's doing great in the spiritual realm here after they're going through the Exodus, and
the spiritual realm is trying to simulate a Hoid. And it's too much data for that to be simulated accurately.
And so Witz goes, me? Oh, I'm fine. Just a big mess of existential crisis. Me, who's not me, knowing that I'll puff away back to nothing the moment this vision ends. It's fun, like realizing you've swallowed poison by accident. I'm sorry, she said. It's fine, he said. I'm not real, so my emotions don't matter. My pain is an illusion, and I'm a puppet for raw investiture, propped up and speaking like the sock on a child's hand. He cocked his head. Damn, is this how the Iriali feel all the time? No wonder they're so storming odd. In my defense, I still think that random Iriali name drop is very weird in context, and this doesn't really answer anything, in my opinion.
It's so clearly a joke.
It's like, philosophically speaking, he goes, oh, they think they are parts of the one. They don't think they are real people. They think they are like sock puppets for the one.
Okay.
I remember when I heard this initially, I thought that Brandon was going to go in the direction of we have the WoB about Iriali having ancestry that some would consider inhuman, depending on what you classify as human or something like that.
Sure.
I don't think that what he ends up saying is really helpful in
No. I think Iriali Dragonkin enjoyers are in shambles a little bit.
That's true.
Which I'm sad, because I always thought that was a fun kind of a fun theory, a fun observation. But
I'm just saying, random Hoid offhand things. I don't think it's unreasonable for me to think that could mean something important. I'm name dropping Aiden Alcium in Way of Kings, okay? All right, okay,
look,
come on.
It's not unreasonable. It is less reasonable to continue to hold on to that in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
I just still don't even, I don't get it. I don't get it. I still don't get it. I'll be totally honest. Okay. I do like in this swab, though, that the weirdness that goes on in the Cosmere, the way hair manifests, that is funny. Thanks for acknowledging that, Brandon, because that is still extremely weird.
Yeah. I mean, hair is weird. Eyes are weird.
Well, eyes are the windows to the soul. Hair is the something of the soul.
Hair is one of the body focuses. I don't remember for who.
Hey, didn't Brandon say that we'd get a body focus thing in Wind and Truth? I don't think that ever happened.
He did say. I mean, the Moash crystal.
The eyes and the diamond.
Okay.
Is kind of what we settled on. Okay, this is what he must have meant.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Sure. Anyway, okay, I see how it is. Let's move on to the next one. So you stop making fun of me.
Okay.
We love you, Eric.
I still think the quote's weird. The quote is still weird. It is weird in context, I think.
Is Hoid making fun of people? He does that all the time.
The Iriali aren't even there. It's just, okay.
That's stopped him before. Okay. Next question. We meet some characters that can see the future. And I couldn't figure out if they are just doing... I thought I'd said meth. I couldn't figure out if they're just doing math. Or if there's some spiritual realm shenanigans going on. I was wondering if you could tell us. Do you want to ask me specifics? Pick a character. The greater Shards. What are they doing when they're able to see the future? And Brandon says, it is more spiritual realm shenanigans. There's some mathematics. There's some probability. They are very good with large data sets that are unavailable to the mortal brain. So there's some of that. But they don't really have to do that, because they can go, and those large data sets will be manifest in, presumably they can go to, and those large data sets are manifest in the spiritual realm as well. Some are better at than others. This is partially vessel, partially shard, partially situational.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, some of it is I can model likelihood of behaviors and therefore kind of anticipate how people are most likely to react. And some of it is I am literally seeing the connections to the future or to potential futures in the spiritual realm, and I can infer which ones are more likely.
Yeah.
It does make me idly wonder. There's the line from Ray's in Oathbringer talking about how Taravangian created the diagram. The quote is, without access to fortune or the spiritual realm. So I've always sort of idly wondered what exactly the alternative is, other than just like, I guess he's supposed to be really smart. So, but like, where's he getting the information to be smart with, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's always been unclear to me. I'll be totally honest.
Yeah, I mean, my assumption has been that even before, like, he was a king, he would have had access to a lot of information. And so on the day of the diagram, he just, I guess, put a lot of that together in, he LLM'd all of the spy reports and what have you, and figured out, okay, I've done interviews with the former wielder of this weird shard blade. I can deduce certain things about this shard blade and what might happen with it in the future. Stretches plausibility a little bit, but
yeah,
we can buy that.
Yeah, it also could be like part of that is like him just remembering everything that he's learned all of his life.
Sure.
So it's like, oh yeah, like he overheard a conversation 40 years ago that normally he wouldn't be able to remember, but on that day he can.
Yeah, I think that's also a good point.
I also think that quote that Odium says is a little weird because I think fortune's part of spiritual realm shenanigans, but
but like that, like they're related, but not the same.
Yeah.
It's like connection is related to the spiritual realm, but they're not one-to-one the same.
Sure. Yeah. Fortune's not directly looking into the spiritual realm, for sure.
Yeah.
That is
I guess in the same way that like option A, he can like visit the spiritual realm the way that like Dalinar and whoever else does and like look there. Option B, he's got a super massive fortune mind.
Chromium mind.
Yeah. And just the equivalent of tapping that. And like obviously he's not going anywhere, but he now has access to all of this fortune that does fortune things.
It's got his Felix Felicius. He's tapping it. Yeah, cool. All right.
Next.
Adam.
The questioner says, which magic system is Hoid's favorite and why? Brandon says, it's one you haven't read yet, probably, though he is very partial to Lightweaving. Very, very partial to Lightweaving. But there's one you haven't read yet that lets him see where he needs to be when he needs to be there. And it's been a very huge resource for him. He doesn't like that. Or he does like that one a lot. It's a scary one too, though.
So fascinating.
Yeah. So that's, speaking of fortune.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Because we've known for a long time that he has some ability like fortune that lets him
like
do
Feruchemy.
Yeah, but it's not Feruchemy.
No. Yeah, at one point we did think it was Feruchemy because Brandon said that, and then he was like, no, it's not Feruchemy.
Yeah. So this is kind of the first more direct reference to this, I feel like. I don't think we've ever gotten that before.
Yeah, this does remind me of Hoid's, like, do not trust anyone who says they can see the future in Oathbringer.
I think it was Oathbringer, yeah.
To Shallan,
Lawnark.
Yeah. Like, why is it dangerous? Is it just seeing the future is dangerous? Is there other stuff going on?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
Yeah. I mean, like, part of it can be, I don't know if that's the case, but a simple explanation would be anyone who can see the future is playing games with like everyone who can see the future is trying to manipulate every outcome of every interaction in their lives towards the future that they desire. Right? I can see the future. I have some idea about how I want to shape the present so I get the future that I want. So inherently, you can never trust someone who is in that position because they could be playing you.
That's lame though.
Well, it's also like, I'm not sure. I guess he sort of sees the future, but I think that Brandon's also been like pointed out a few times that Hoid doesn't know why he's there or what he needs to do when he gets there. He just sort of is attracted to a place and time.
Yeah. He even said as much in, I think, one of the Stormlight books? He was like,
it was the Yasna
middle of the Shattered Plains, kind of, I didn't know why I had to be here or something to that effect.
Yeah. True.
Which may be like a way of protecting himself, like a way of making, the magic system is designed to protect I don't know, maybe there's like some cost to seeing the future more directly that the magic system is made to avoid.
I don't know. It has always been weird to me that Hoid said that to Shallan, like, hey, beware of anyone who's seeing the future, right? Or who claims to see the future, I guess.
Maybe he's just a devout Vorin.
And it's just weird because, like, obviously lots of shards do that. So I'm like, I don't, like, it's not just odium things. I don't know. I do feel like I need a bit more answer to that, which I do think we will get there with like a Renarin book, right? Because that's obviously going to focus on that quite heavily, where we have not been able to do so before, right?
You would expect to,
Yeah.
And like part of it can also just be that is Hoid's philosophy.
Yeah.
Hoid, one of the most opinionated men in the Cosmere, he's gonna have opinions.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, maybe I imagine that, maybe it's like the original group who went around to do the shattering, they saw the future and were acting on that and that. And I'm pretty sure Hoid has said that the shattering was a crime or a mistake or something along those lines, something horrible. I feel like there's something like that he said in Tress or something, some like making it a regret.
There is some negative connotation around that. I don't know if he's ever gone to explicitly call it something like a crime or a mistake. In Tress specifically, where that comes up is in the context of someone saying that, I'm doing this for your own good or for the greater good. And he goes, yeah, I done that.
It could be a thing where like Hoid's warning against people seeing their future, thinking it's like more set than it actually is. And maybe Hoid once felt that it was that way and is like, oh yeah, this led me to some mistakes. And that's not a good idea. Don't do that.
There is. This is going to sound like a little bit of a tangent, but it's actually relevant to this.
Okay.
There's a game that I really enjoy that I will never miss an opportunity to plug, which is called Stray Gods. It's a role-playing musical. It's like a visual novel. You select choices, dialogues, but the entire gameplay plays in song, and like you choose how the songs are going to go. Highly recommend. But the reason I bring it up is because it deals with the Greek pantheon, and it deals with Apollo, who there is presented as the god of prophecy, among other things. And the way the world building of the game presents this, and this is not necessarily a unique idea, but I really like the way that it frames it, is that the moment you are aware of a prophecy that has to do with you, you are now bound by that prophecy.
Sure.
And there's no escaping it, right? And so one of the kind of character moments for him is that he is reluctant to share prophecies because only in the ignorance of a prophecy is there room for free will and to avert the course of that prophecy. And so this reminded me of that. Also play Stray Gods.
I agree. That's a very cool concept. It crops up now and again, but yeah, it's one that like I've always been intrigued with. Of like, if you know the future, you can't change it.
Yeah, that's interesting. It does make me kind of excited to see earlier Hoid things and seeing him make these mistakes potentially.
Yeah.
Like I could easily imagine some vision thing leading to like destruction of Ashen, right? Type thing.
Oh yeah, because he was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think that's interesting, and if it's more Hoid's personal philosophy, that's helpful. And I mean, Hoid knew the Heralds, right? So like that, it could have just proliferated through the Heralds. It's like, yeah, that was a bad idea, and then that proliferated through Vorinism.
Well, like Vorinism, I think it's more that honor not good at it, odium good at it. If someone's telling you they can see the future, probably odium, which is bad.
Well, that's also an aspect.
It can be multiple things, right? It's the whole the death rattles are seeing the future and they are of odium. So like there's also that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Tanavas did see like visions that were very important, and it wasn't like he was terrible necessarily.
Tanavast notably saw the destruction of all of Roshar just before the Recreants, and then used information from that vision to completely bungle up the information that he passed on to everyone.
Well, you know,
As said,
I'm not saying
he
that's
wasn't
false.
good at it.
That's not him being false at future sight. I'm just saying. Maybe
an early Vorin philosopher had a really bad trip in Rhino's lighthouse with that weird.
Hated Rhino. Wow, this sucked.
Blame the foreigner.
Basically, I think the Vorin like admonition against future sight is not a one-to-one reasoning with Hoid as admonition. Like they're coming at it from two different perspectives.
I agree with that. I just think that there is room for like whatever seed that grew into Vorinism to be related to why Hoid thinks that. But it being like it's changed a lot over time.
I could see him like encouraging seeing the anti-odium side, having a anti-future sight idea, being like he could see that as a good thing, and so trying to encourage that or something.
Oh yeah, that's super true too. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I see a new WoB in our future.
Yep. The question I'm going to ask is about vessels that hold multiple shards. It seems like only one vessel can hold shards as we know it. But can they manifest themselves as multiple shardic entities? Brandon, if they wanted to, they could. So yes. Questioner, so we know that Sazed is Harmony, and he's struggling. The intents of the shards are difficult, and they don't like each other, so he's ineffective in a lot of ways. Could Discord be a shadow Sazed that lets him lean both ways, but still be under one umbrella? Brandon, yes, that is one interpretation of what could happen. You might, though, find Discord being him leaning one direction for a while, and then another direction for a while, because balance is very difficult with this. And so one takes over, then another takes over, and he starts vacillating. And then that's a bad thing too. But what you're saying is Discord is that if he could fully embrace the idea of Discord, it might be a way to actually find a balance. Questioner, that Sazed as we know him would be Harmony, and then the shadow Sazed is Brandon. Oh, I see what you're saying. That is different from what I was thinking. What I was saying, if the majority of the people started to call him Discord, the nature of the fight between them would be a selling point. It'd be a feature rather than a bug. And it might be a way to win stability. But that would also be dangerous, because then you are the Shard Discord, that would be bad in some ways.
If you want to come to the Shard Discord, you can go to discord.gg/17shard.
How long were you waiting for as I was reading this?
It looked pretty long.
No, that happened immediately. As soon, like 2 seconds before I was reading ahead. I got to Shard Discord.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
It's true. I know we've talked about the idea of Discord being, rather than Harmony, where he's, trying to be very balanced and doesn't act a lot, Discord is these big swings back and forth. So I'm glad that Brandon's thinking about that too. I'm sure of course he knows what Discord's gonna do, obviously. I do think it's interesting that Brandon's thought pattern went completely off the rails of what the questioner was saying with the shadow season.
Yeah, because this feels like the questioner was asking, can Sazed, who holds ruin and preservation, basically project 2 different versions of himself, one Harmony, one Discord, kind of almost masks he's wearing.
And I think specifically thinking about the Lost Metal epilogue, where Sazed has an ominous shadow hovering over him that he is ignoring, and
so the proper word for this sort of thing is
Avatar. Yeah,
but we can't use that word.
I mean, but what that kind of could be an avatar.
This is all related, so we could use that.
It's word. Kind of an avatar, though. Bovidin's kind of doing something like that.
Yes.
I really like this framing of, we can turn this bug into a feature, because if there is the idea that Discord is inherently unstable in some way, right? Then and lacks balance, if you think of Discord as, this is no longer Harmony, this is Discord, right? The shard that we are looking at, then that brings some stability into the shard in question. And so even though you were adding stability to the definition by defining the shard as an instability in a way. But that's dangerous, because then you are stuck with Discord.
Yeah, I remember when I was hearing this WoB in real time, I was excited because it sort of meshed with how I sort of internally thought of the Harmony Discord, sort of the difference between them. I think of Harmony as like an inverted pendulum, which there's this concept of unstable equilibrium.
Yes.
Where if it's upright, it's not moving, so it's in equilibrium. But if it is perturbed in any way, it is unstable, so it doesn't return to equilibrium. It'll go crazy. Whereas Discord would be like a frictionless pendulum that's just swinging back and forth. And so it's not in equilibrium because it's not staying still, but it's also not unstable because it's not breaking into, a chaotic system. And so in my mind, Discord would be
back and forth.
Yeah, it would be ruin at some points, and then it would be preservation at other points, and then in net, it's the same amount of ruin and preservation.
Hey Brandon, go back to writing Ghostbloods. Something tells me that this might be relevant for that.
He says Ghostbloods isn't going to be delayed, so I gotta believe him. But it does make me very excited for Ghostbloods, though. Really excited thinking about this.
Yeah, because I think Kelsier, for instance, would, at least I think he would think that he would be able to use Discord to the advantage of Scadrial, of
sure,
okay, when you're in your preserving thing, protect Scadrial. When you're in your ruining thing, attack, non-Scadrial, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think Kelsier at least would think he could work that to his advantage.
That's so fun to think that maybe Kelsier pushes Sazed to the Discord state and then realizes that was a bad idea, actually. Why did I think that was a good idea? That character arc wise, that actually is really sick.
I mean, we know he is pushing him for action or towards action.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, I doubt a single individual, even if it is, this close friend of Sazed from back in the day, is going to be influential enough to do that. But if tensions with the Maoish get worse, and if there are external threats to Scadrial, which both of these things are kind of what the Lost Metal was about, then I can see like Sazed's constituents pushing him towards kind of in the same direction that Kelsier is.
And Kelsier does have experience doing religion, so he could see pathism as
do a religion, yeah.
He did do a religion, yeah. Intentionally and with a plan.
Multiple times, really. I think it could be like all these stressors are on Sazed, and then like Kelsier does an action that like then starts the pendulum swinging type thing, and like maybe Kelsier isn't necessarily aiming for Discord in particular. Like you needed all these prerequisite things to happen, and but like Kelsier maybe is that final thing that broke the.
Yeah, it's like pushing Sazed to action just generally.
Yeah.
But like that action is what like breaks the dam and starts a pendulum swinging.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those things where it is difficult to stay in equilibrium, and then once you are once you lose that equilibrium, you just cannot recover it anymore.
Yeah. No, I like that a
without
lot.
outside input. So what could outside input mean?
Valor.
In this scenario.
Valor.
we like Valor's gonna fix everything into Cosmere. I love her for it.
I hope when we meet Valor that she doesn't suck, because I feel like we place a lot of hope in her.
Look, one dragon shard, maybe not so good. Maybe Valor, very cool. Let's hope.
Yeah, you gotta. That's how you do representation. What your. If you have only one dragon shard and she sucks, then that's racist towards dragons. But if you have two shards and one of them sucks and the other one has to not suck, otherwise you are only making the problem worse.
Yeah, yep. So this next question will refer to the Fires of December reading, and so if you guys don't want to hear anything about that, you can just go to the next timestamp, because all the WoBs, they're timestamped. So that's what we're doing. I don't think it's about one thing, so like I think it's fine. But if you really don't want to hear anything,
I mean, there's no reason to be coy about it. It has to do with why is there the word December in a Cosmere story?
Well, now we're gonna get into it. So Ian. Yes. Take us in, because we didn't talk about that very much in the Fires of December reading episode.
And I wasn't there. And I bullied Eric into including this one.
It is true. It is true. He's like, no, we have to. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You offered.
Yeah.
Questioner asks, the previous Hoid stories, the Hoid's Travails stories, Yumi and Tress, based on his word choice, I know they're like translations. Based on his previous word choices, we kind of assumed he was telling these stories to a Roshar. Brandon, yeah. Well, each of those two books are told to different audiences. Questioner, how does Hoid know the word December? Who is he talking to?
A totally unbiased reading of this question.
I think that's exactly how the questioner pronounced that too, yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, I use Grandpa Tolkien's philosophy on this. No, you're not. Did you know that Sam's name isn't Sam? What is Sam's name? Hilgo. It's actually Banazir Galbasi. So I can't remember. But for an English-speaking audience, Tolkien translated his name because he said in their language Sam's name was something like a common name from ancient religious lore that's been shortened into a cute nickname like Sam is. You can go read about this. That's not his actual name. That is true. I think there is definitely an argument for fantasy authors to try to not kick people out. But at the same time, there is madness in trying to say, well, I can't use this word because. The one that I bring up, you usually wouldn't use the word Ottoman because it comes from the Ottoman Empire. But at the same time, it's been genericized to be an Ottoman. There are so many words in English that if you actually go to the history and be like, well, this was named for a person, this word that we use, does that mean we can't use that word in fantasy? I think in that direction lies madness. So the way that we deal with it, that Tolkien said, and I read this essay by him years and years ago before I even became a professional author, and I said, that's the way I'm going to do it, is that Brandon Sanderson is presenting this to you in translation. And I want you to understand, whenever anyone in the world hears December's name, they don't hear a normal name that you're used to. They hear the name of a month. And they're like, well, that's odd that she's named after a month. They don't hear that. Like when you hear Sanderson, you probably say, oh, that's a name. You don't hear, oh, that came from Alexander's son, because it's just become a name that we hear. But they stop when they hear her name because of that. I want to put it in translation into English in a way where you read it, you're reminded of her heritage and that her mother gave her this unique name, and she's named after the day of the month, and kind of evoking that early first few paragraphs. That's how I approach doing this, and it's been my philosophy since the beginning. And that's why there's, homicidal hat trick in Mistborn 3. And all of with stories, one of these things that I've done is he's doing lots of these interesting puns. Those would have to be completely different puns in their language. You just kind of have to put this filter over the top where you're like, Brandon is presenting it to me, so I have a certain feeling. When he names something like Alamancy or Furukami or things like this, Greek and Latin don't exist on Scadrial. Why do we have these Greek and Latin origin of names? Well, they have their own linguistic systems that evoke the same feeling. To go otherwise, I think, lies madness. I know this is kind of a blanket. Brandon can do whatever he wants. That's why I do it. But I do know that December is named in particular, like, there was some discussion, do I change it? And sometimes when you're a writer, you're just like, my artistic intent. I love that name. That's who she is. And I had that name from sentence 1. I'm not going to change that. It's too intrinsic to the soul of the piece of art. I do understand that there are some that kicks out, and I totally understand that. That's not an invalid complaint. But do understand that this is how I approach all of the writing. That doesn't mean I won't try to not kick you out when I can. I do know that switching from courting to dating bothered some people in Stormlight 5, and they're right. If I could go back, I would change that one, because there's no real reason to use one or the other, except one does evoke just a little bit more of that classical feel. There definitely are valid complaints and things I would change if it gets highlighted. So the whole thing about Tolkien is Tolkien was a philologist and thought a whole lot about languages. Brandon's not doing that. Brandon is going for vibes, which is fine.
Sounds like you're fine with it.
It's because, like, there's just like a line you have to draw. Like, does people mentioning Ottomans in fantasy bother me because it's Ottoman Empire? No, because Ottoman Empire is not a part of the world that I exist in. It's part of history, and I don't really think about it that much. We kind of see this to go a little bit into the reading. Is there are two things that get mentioned: fallopian tubes, which are 100% named after a guy, because the parts of women's anatomy are named after men for some reason.
Makes sense to me.
And yeah, so named after a guy called Fallopio. So it's like, that doesn't bother me, because, like, what else would you name it? And then, like, December performs the Heimlich maneuver, but it doesn't get named the Heimlich maneuver because that's a guy's name. And that's more present as a guy's name in our public consciousness. The whole thing about, like, oh, that's weird, you're named after a name of the month. Fully a third of the names of the months are normal names. April, May, June, August are all normal names. And if I have to pick the next most normal one, it's probably March. But then after that, it's December. So it's like, I don't think it's that weird to name someone after a month. So it's like, I get that this is important to Brandon. I don't begrudge him that. It's just, I don't see the point. This doesn't work for me. And there's also, like, the whole thing of, like, Brandon, like, lampshading it by Hoid commenting on the fact that he's translating it, but like not actually giving the term Hoid is translating it as, is just makes it feel like Hoid is breaking the fourth wall, and that's bad.
I do think it's reasonable if people get kicked out of the story for that. I do think it's reasonable if people feel like that kind of breaks the fourth wall. I do think that's reasonable. I think the name's fine, though. I do think it evokes... I get the feel that Brandon's going for. And I do think the fallopian tubes versus Heimlich maneuver, that is interesting, right? Because what else would you call fallopian tubes? We have to use that word for an English audience to understand what that's referring to, right?
I mean, we don't. The thing is, we don't. There are other, and I can't think of like examples right now, but there have been other cases where Brandon would take kind of the name of a thing and give it like a parallel name that evokes the same idea, and the context makes it clear enough. Like I think Fibonacci sequence was mentioned by a different name in Stormlight.
Sequence. Yumi,
it's in Yumi.
Yeah. And so from context, it's clear that this is what that is about, right? So he could have invented something. The question is how many of the, and it's vibes is the answer. It's like, you have to evaluate how likely is this to confuse people versus kick people out of the story versus,
It's like there's a line that like every reader is going to draw it in a different place. So like for me, like fallopian tubes falls on one side, Heimlich maneuver falls on another side, and December just falls on the Heimlich side. For me,
I think with these two specifically, and that's probably something that's going to apply to a lot of these, is that something like the Heimlich maneuver is the name is right there. Whereas with fallopian, like the name fallopian,
it's historical enough.
It is of a name. It is not a name.
Yeah, I did actually do research on this. Because I was annoyed. And it's like fallopian tube like is like, even though like usually like things that are named after people are capitalized, fallopian tube is not. Because it has like kind of transitioned to like this like isn't thought of as a name anymore.
Much more like Ottoman, right? Yeah.
I think another would be like I think shrapnel is. There was a guy like William Shrapnel or something who invented an exploding cannonball.
That's cool.
That is. Yeah. So there's definitely a point to be said that so many words are like just derived from people from some point, right? And that I think super fair.
Stormlight, famously named after John Stormlight.
Yeah. We all know that. Wow, you broke in good. Wow, this is the most I think we've got anyone to break.
That took me a minute.
This is all staying in. This is all staying in.
Yeah.
I think there's another aspect where Hoid is mentioning that she's named December for the coldest month, which it just isn't.
Yeah,
so I think that's maybe another issue.
Yeah, she was born on the coldest day of the coldest month or something like that. That oddly enough, that doesn't bother me as much because I in my brain I understand that December is not the coldest month of the year, but when I think of winter, I think of December. I don't think of January.
You have to consider that Eric is married to someone from the Southern Hemisphere.
Well, it's not even that though. Like it just, even still, December's not the coldest one. But it does evoke the wintry feel. I think it's a very pretty name, so I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think a wintry name would have worked fine, honestly.
Winter would have worked fine.
Yeah, but that's a character in a different fantasy book.
I mean, there's that. Yeah, I can understand why you don't like it, and I think it's fine. So there.
Yeah. Like December as a name works fine, just not in Cosmere.
Sure.
I do, however, will partially agree that the lamp shading does feel like it makes it a little bit worse.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Without it, might have been better. But I'll also say I'm halfway through reading the Gamma for Fires of December right now. I feel like after the first few chapters, the name just stopped registering as unusual to me, and it's just a name.
Fully. Like reading it, like I'm fine with December as a name. Like when I'm reading the book, truly, like the name is the worst part of the book. The rest of the book's great. like love the book. I hate the title.
Right. So once you're past the first line, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Well, in the lampshade.
I disagree that she's named this, but like it's fine.
Well, we gotta have a trademarked Ian rant. It's been a
no
bit.
one else cares about words. It's me.
Well, I'm just saying, you say rants on this show in a very particular way, and I enjoy hearing the rants personally. I think Wind and Truth Reactions 2 was very fun to listen to because I like hearing such things. Okay, I think it's fun.
And also like I rant. I am putting on a bit to an extent. I'm not actually that mad.
You did never like it though. That is always true.
I hated it from the beginning. But I'm I disagree with Brandon on loads of things, and like it's fine.
It's true. That is true. That's true. Like Avatar, as we mentioned, psychic damage. All you have to do to give Ian psychic damage is you just say Avatar, December, just like get him.
Soon enough, we're going to have enough of those words to string together a full sentence. Something about avatars in the Scadrian Shadesmar and...
idoliths.
There we go. Yeah. Cool,
that
cool.
one I do think is legitimately, Brandon, why
give it,
do this?
Give it a couple more decades. We can have an Ian rant bingo.
Hey, we should do another Cosmere Beefs episode sometime.
Yeah, maybe we can do one this year.
Yeah.
Did we just do one?
Didn't we already do one with the Wind and Truth Reactions 2?
Yeah, but we didn't call it Beefs.
No. I have some. I know I made a Google Doc with some newer beefs that I specifically have. So we will do that. I will prep for that episode and make sure I have some good rants just for you.
Yeah, you gotta marinate those beefs.
Oh no, I know what one of them is, and oh man, the number theorists are not gonna like me for that. All the number theorists in viewing this video.
Oh, it's
now you know exactly what I'm going to talk.
So dumb. I want to talk about something else that I'm
let's
very
move
passionate
on.
about. I want to talk about something else that I'm very passionate
about.
Let's move on
to Lawnarks. We can complain about this
evolution.
too.
Lawnark evolution feels a bit fishy to me, which they're bird people, not fish people, but whatever.
Well, technically, Evgeni, they are
people.
Birds are
yes,
fish.
Yeah.
Birds are fish. Okay.
Oh, y'all, that's the direction you're taking it?
Taxonomically, that's a true statement. Fish is not an actual, clade.
Okay.
You're a fish. Technically. You're a bony fish.
Okay. I will go look into that after this.
No, that's the truth. That's true.
But so Lawnark evolution feels a bit fishy to me, says questioner. There's supposed to be an isolated group of humans that evolved feathers, but the timescale of the Cosmere, my understanding is not the timescale of evolution could happen.
Yes.
And Brandon says, be aware of a couple of things. The shattering is not the start of the Cosmere. There are long stretches of time, millions of years pre-shattering that existed in the Cosmere. Be aware of that as well. The shattering is a very important point that happened And a lot of the planets that we're dealing with, their timescale does start there, but not all of them. So that's number one. And number two, a shard can influence evolution if they would so desire. It doesn't mean that they are actively always doing it, but they definitely could. So you could see some of these rapid progress, X-Men style of evolution going fast.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's the idea that evolution isn't necessarily accelerated, but can be accelerated in the Cosmere is not new. Like obviously, and we used to meme about fossils on Scadrio and how Ati and Ruin in creating Scadrio also created fossils, or Harmony, I guess, also created fossils so that they can have fossil fuel in there. And Vasher lampshades the idea of, oh, your planet is, or my planet is too new, or whatever he said, and he shows like a fossil to Kaladin. So none of this is like unique. I have for a while been like thinking, not actively, but just every now and then in the back of my head, about the relationship between life and investiture. And kind of the healing properties of investiture and the life. What's the word I want to use here? Kind of like
a life force.
Like a life force is an aspect of it, right? It's people who are highly invested are resistant to aging to a small extent, to infections and viruses and things like that. And so there is a relationship, and like investiture responds to life, investiture develops life in a way on its own. And so there's definitely like a close relationship. Like investiture is not mana in the traditional sense, in that it is this object that can be used to fuel and manipulate the world around you. It is in a way, a living part of the world around you. And so an interaction between
a living force, you might say.
I might say a living force, yes. An interaction between the development of life and evolution, by extent, and investiture doesn't surprise me. It helps me frame things a little more consistently, I think.
I don't want to speak for Brandon, but I do think that he's basically, the first part of his answer isn't really related to Lawnarks. I think it's just pointing out that, he's not saying that Lawnarks have been around for a billion years. And based on where Lawnarks are, I assume that he is basically saying that invention in some form, either actively or just by virtue of living on a place that is so invention infused, prompted them to evolve faster. And for some reason, it was beneficial for them to have feathers instead of hair.
Maybe invention's just like rolling the dice and trying to explore, what space for different sequences to do different proteins, and it'd be like, yeah, cool, that worked. And it'd be like, nice,
And that's the tricky bit with evolution. Like evolution on, like in our world, or at least on Earth, right, is driven by natural selection, survival of the fittest. For the most part, there are parts of it which are kind of arbitrary mutations that just happen to propagate and have neither positive nor negative connotation to them. It's just because it's a roll of the dice. Evolution in the Cosmere, especially when it's like investiture accelerated, doesn't have to be natural selection. It can be unnatural selection. It can be, it's a little silly, but like it can be invention going, I like birds, man. And then
that is true.
And feathers instead of hair doesn't have to be something that like helps the Lawnarks survive. As long as it's not like actively killing them, it's fine.
Invention is Brandon's OC self-insert. Just a bird lover.
Can be. He invented the Cosmere.
Okay, that's very funny. Just a few things before the biologists furiously comment. there are more mechanisms of evolution than just natural selection. There's like genetic drift and gene flow. And anyway, just, that those are things. Also, unnatural selection is just called artificial selection. We do have that. That happens all the time.
Yeah, but I was intentionally like juxtaposing the word natural with unnatural, right? Because
I'm just saying a shard can be like, I like this dog breed and do stuff to make it happen. Also, shards also have an additional advantage in that they could probably just tinker with spiritual shenanigans and make forms be whatever. And how does that interact with actual genomics? Brandon's not going to explore that. I guarantee that for
SDNA,
sure.
SDNA.
Yeah, spiritual DNA
does it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, okay, this has helped me with the Lawnarks that, he can just invention likes the birds. We're adjusting spiritual stuff or accelerating evolution. Cool. I mean, essentially, anytime a shard is investing on a place and now people have access to Arcana, that is a very big change that is being induced in the population. Like, you're essentially giving them a whole new thing that species can do, right? So, of course, they can influence evolution, right? That's how it works. All right, Adam, let's go to this next one here.
Questioner, now that we know Shallan is the daughter of a herald, does that explain her greater affinity for lightweaving, or is that just a coincidence? Will that potential possibly be able to be passed on to her children? Brandon says, her affinity for being extra skillful at the order she ended up in, it's an odd way of phrasing it, is influenced by her heritage, but lightweaving itself, not necessarily. Questioner, so if any other herald had a child, they would have better affinity with investiture in general? Brandon says yes, and also potentially some other side effects. Questioner, could they get passed on to the children further? Brandon, it could be passed on to the children further. It is going to dilute over time, over generations.
What's the Inquisitor children? Inquisitor powers do not get passed to their children. Was that it?
Oh, like their allomantic abilities, do they get passed on?
Yeah,
I feel like they do.
Oh no.
I know for a fact we have a WoB on this.
Yeah.
Let's play some elevator music.
It is, you said that Inquisitors could have children. Would those children have a better chance at being Allomancers compared to if they had the kids before they were Inquisitors? Brandon says yes, but there could also be complications. That's from the Fantasy Book Club Alloy of Law Q&A 2012.
Interesting.
That makes sense to me.
Sorry, this is extremely funny. The 3 WoBs that appeared in the search, because then there's another one in 2013. I'll get to the third one. It's very funny. Where in 2013, if you have a series of Inquisitors, like a family of Inquisitors having children for generations, would the hemalurgy, and Brandon says, would the hemalurgy influence the spiritual DNA of the children? Is that what you're asking? That's a hypothesis that has merit in the way the magic system works. But then in 2019, questioner, I wonder if an Inquisitor had children, if they would inherit stronger Inquisitor abilities, or would just inherit lesser lines from being a Seeker, for example. Brandon, excellent question. I don't think I've ever been asked this way before. Amazing. The way hemalurgy works, if you're not aware, you're taking someone else's soul and you're basically nailing it to your soul. That won't affect the children, so you will have the weaker lines. They have tried that, unfortunately. That said, Brandon clearly didn't remember that he talked about this before. Yeah. So I would say that is subject to change for whatever Brandon wants.
That is, yeah. I mean, I think that Inquisitors should not pass on their powers. I think the powers are stapled onto their soul. They're not part of their soul. So it's like you attach an extra limb that doesn't make your children have an extra limb, like that kind of idea.
Yeah, like it's not germline.
Yeah, but like
there's at least a difference enough that
different.
Yeah, I think there's at least a difference enough that any precedent set by heralds doesn't necessarily apply to Inquisitors.
That is also true. Yes.
Also, Harold Chana presumably had to do something special in order to even have a kid in the first place.
Is that true, though?
So
is that true? That might just apply to Returned.
Yeah.
That's. I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Jezrien. Oh God, when did Jezrien have Ash?
Before being heralded.
Before being heralded.
Before
they got
heralded.
to Ashen. Yeah, she was born on Ashen.
Yeah.
But he could have potentially, like, I don't know how long like the war on Ashen lasted. He could have potentially had other powers, but other powers doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay.
Yeah. Do we also have a WoB on Shallan? Like, I feel like there's at least one other WoB talking about, or no, it's something Kalak tells Shallan in Wind of Truth, right? About her. There being like an additional reason that she's
it's the second bond.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She has two
the
bonds.
Bond is imbricated.
Yes. Obviously. To Spren means effectively that she's getting pulled more towards the other realms, and that has
that's right.
Convenient implications for whatever Brandon wants to do with that.
That was like the potentially connected to like her being able to take Trey's lashing or something, maybe.
That Kalak specifically is talking about the fortune thing because he goes, "Oh, have you always been able to see into the spiritual realm, child?" And so Shallan specifically is a bundle of just oddities.
Yeah.
I wonder what specific stuff we've seen her do is attributable to being the daughter of a herald. There's that time where she like stops emitting Stormlight, I think in Words of Radiance or Oathbringer, where she like, because normally it like steams off of you and she's hiding and it just stops happening.
I think it could have something to do with like the memories as well, like enhancing that somewhat. I don't think they're going to be dramatic enhancements, but just like, she's really good at what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not like a unique thing and just a more thing.
Yeah, I agree. I like, is it the questioner or Brandon who phrases it? I think the questioner phrases it as affinity for investiture.
For Lightweaving, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Brandon says not just Lightweaving.
Yeah. So I do like the idea that things happen easier for her and more things are accessible to her because of that. But she doesn't necessarily gain brand new abilities as a result of her heritage.
Was it true that Shallan had a really easy time manifesting in Shadesmar? Jess would know. She would immediately know, but I do not immediately know.
She can manifest, and we know that different people have different skill level at manifesting.
I guess
and she has an easy time.
Better affinity with investiture in general. Like manifesting could be like in.
I feel like isn't there a time where she has a gem, a sphere in her pocket, and then it
she manifests like a brick wall.
Yeah. Well, and then there's also Radiant summoning like a physical Lightweaving Radiant.
But Abiri kind of implies that that's a normal, because like he's surprised that she has access to substantiation. And so the implication is this is a known ability of at least Lightweavers, kind of physical illusions, in other words.
Gotta take the talent in the tree, clearly.
Yeah. I didn't know you were this high level, Shallan.
Well, I mean,
Shallan's sort of prestiged as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a Shallan, I think, is just because there's so much going on with her. Like she's a bad example of any specific thing.
100%.
Okay, like what's because she's a herald? What's because she has an imbricated bond? Like what's because of her mental status?
What's because of I did this many truths, but then redid like he's to say.
Yeah, we need to get more of Chana's kids to start bonding Spren.
Yeah,
that's true. There are other kids. I forgot about that.
It's true. It's true.
Well,
Get them to bond with some Void Spren, in back half. That'll really clear things up for us.
I feel like this is I feel like Chana's family is too small a sample size for us to be branching into other experiments. We have to keep it a little bit tight so we have a reasonable control group.
So Kaladin needs to have children.
Well, what would having kids with
that's
your honor spren do? I feel like that would also complicate things.
I was tempted to make that joke. I'm glad you did it for me. That's great.
Obviously, that's where the tan people come from.
I mean,
yeah, that's canon.
That's canon.
I saw a photo the other day of someone with like blue paint on their fingers. And I was tempted to post that in Cosmere's captioned with like Kaladin Book 6. But then I didn't do that.
Okay, that'd be pretty good.
You could have gone for a Blue Fingers joke, but I appreciate you going for Silhouette instead.
It's true. I do think it makes sense that whatever these herald effects, presumably in the spiritual DNA, like that they dilute, kind of like how Allomancy did. That makes sense to me, for sure.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Royal locks also dilute over time.
Is that true though? Is that actually true?
Well, it's also the thing of like if you don't become the monarch, then you just lose it or something like that. Yeah. Or like if your sibling becomes
you have to be in the main line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like so it's like it doesn't dilute along the main line, but like if you like are a branch off, like you'd lose it. Like so it's like if you are the son of the monarch, you have it, but unless like you are king, your kids will not.
Yeah. So Ceres,
if Neffin became queen, then Vivenna and Ciri would lose it.
Yeah. Ridger's kids. King Ridger. Idris. Obviously main character in Nightblood. No, we don't know that. That's not true. But King Ridger's kids would presumably have the royal locks. Royal locks are so weird, actually, if you think about it.
They are. I tried to nail him down on this, and he's like, save it for the sequel, because he obviously did not want to.
Well, continue saving it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it was like, okay, but like, what if, like... So using the model of the Colon royal family.
What if someone dies?
Yeah, like if Gavilar dies. So like Gavilar and Dalinar would have the royal locks. Elhokar and Jasnah would have royal locks, but Adolin and Renarin wouldn't. What if Gavilar, like all that line dies and then Dalinar becomes kings?
Well, Adolin and Renarin already have magic.
Adolin and Renarin. Would they just manifest that?
They already have magic hair, so it would get complicated.
Yeah. It was the best analog I had.
No, that is interesting, especially like if Dalinar becomes king of like Urithiru, right? But Jasnah's king of this, which is interesting given the Idrian royal line, because they're not the king of Hanald pre-Hallandren. They're a king of somewhere else. Everyone remembers Hanald, the old name for Hallandren. I did not expect that we go in this direction on this. I
feel like people barely remember Hallandren.
It was foretold by the Warbreaker.
Whoa! It was all planned. This is all scripted.
New but old of design.
You truly cannot trust people who can see the future.
Anything scripted, seeing the future. So it's like, it does kind of come down to, what does it mean to be king or the monarch in a sense?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's probably like you have to actually be ruling people and other people to think that you're the king. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it who knows, right? Because you also have the idea of like kings in exile and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, those were the Adrians, though. That's the thing. That's exactly what they were.
Yeah, but I mean, like, more
exiled.
I don't know. There's some clear shenanigans going on.
Because the Warlocks are from the returned, right? A returned ancestry originally.
From
Yeah,
Vo,
and
right?
that's what I meant
Yeah.
when I.
So
when
yeah,
I was
there is
talking
like a
about the-
dilution from like total shapeshifting to just hair shapeshifting.
Yeah, okay.
But then the
Sure.
dilution stopped and became different for some reason. So
Then the dilution
I mean,
required you to be a monarch. Like, okay, sure.
Allomancy and Ferochemy diluted to like a minimum plateau, and that has now stopped. So
the
I guess
return
the hair is the
shapeshifting goes to hair shapeshifting, but only if you're a monarch. Easy. Nailed it.
The child of a monarch.
Child of a monarch. I have a totally different tangent going back and not talking about the Royal Locks, but
Sure,
vaguely Warbreaker related too. So the returned need to do special things to have children. And so Adam was saying, does Chana need to do something special to have kids? And I'm like, I think maybe not, just because the Investiture is remaking their body, right? Like the Heralds.
they're not a dead body.
Yeah, it's not a dead body.
They're not
Right.
zombies.
They're
Yeah.
not zombies. That's a good way to phrase it. So that just made me wonder, like fused children, because like with the fused, it's even weirder because they're actually
It's like a
taking over
live
living
body.
singers, and
Yeah.
that's you know.
I mean, surely they retain all of their facilities
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
take over.
I tried to look for a
it's
while.
like a
but
you
spiritual
were
thing, isn't
asking
it?
whose child is it going to be?
Well, like it would be like I could see something where it's like where like physically it's like the child of the host, but like spiritually it's a child of the fuse.
But isn't it that once the spirit of the fuse takes over the singer's patterns change to match what the fuse pattern is?
They do shapeshift. Yeah.
To an extent.
To an extent. Yeah.
Depends on the brand.
But it's like the carapace patterns tend to.
At
So
minimum,
you can recognize them.
The fingerprint effectively.
Yeah. But like Leshwi was in a mail-in body.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
it
still
did not
recognizable.
become female-in.
Yeah, for sure. It's not a Yubi
So like it
situation.
didn't like become her body. It's just it was like shifted to be closer to her body.
It's just kind of weird, with like other brands where it's like the tensioned ones like become string, but apparently they can go that far, but they need. Presumably they would also like they wouldn't be able to change gender either. So.
Maybe don't think about it too much because it is really weird.
Well, let me tell you who didn't.
Yeah, Brandon. Like I'm sure fused can absolutely have children. It's just they probably wouldn't want to because during desolations they know like being on Roshar's kind of a temporary thing, presumably.
I wonder if the children would be taken to Braze. I
think no, because there's that implication that Odium hasn't elevated someone new to fused in like forever, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Or, like Terravangian could be different for sure. Like he seems pretty thrilled about making people fused,
I mean, even outside of that, I feel like it's not going to be automatic. I think that's the kind of thing where volition would be.
What about between two fused? Or
like if they're doing it while fused in like a real body, then like it would operate under real body rules.
Yeah. Like I don't know how much. I feel like they probably wouldn't. The children wouldn't have any magical abilities.
Not inherently.
They might have like some weird
affinity for void binding.
Yeah. Because like it is such a weird thing where essentially the fused soul is being a bit stapled onto the singer body. Like it's different with like the forms,
kind of.
Like it's more than hemalurgy for sure because
it's more they
on that side
replace
of the spectrum, I think.
Well, no, they replace the person, but like there is still like a physical body that has DNA or whatever, right? Like so there is still weirdness, right?
certain biological processes are still occurring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess between two heralds, there's just some reason that the kid wouldn't be would be like less magical than either parent.
Yeah. I was about to say like, oh, but like they're fused so they couldn't go into mate form to have kids, but like you don't have to be in mate
But that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a libido thing. And, maybe likelihood and stuff like that.
Sorry. I was just thinking about the tension fused, and you can complete that sentence for yourself.
Sure.
What's that like?
I mean, they can
like
coil up.
Handball.
Make that fan
Boink,
art.
boink, boink.
Okay, time to move on. We were barely talking about the question anyway, so that's fine.
I mean, we touched on some like spiritual DNA and inheritance and like heritage type of stuff.
Places.
Yeah,
I think that they're all logical places.
Well,
yeah.
for the most
not
part.
necessarily places we needed to visit, but
for
they
the
were
most part.
adjacent to.
Okay, so questioner asks, my question revolves around Lift. We found out in Isles of the Emberdark, dragons take some of their nourishment from the spiritual realm. Does that have any correlation with Lift's ability to take investiture from food, since it was granted to her by cultivation? Brandon, I would say these are analogous. They're not the same thing, but they're cousins. Questioner, so is there anything with the idea of her power coming from someone who is a dragon and gave her the ability? Brandon, oh, that connection? Oh, that's interesting. It was not intentional, but that is an interesting coincidence. I bet that is like, I'm going to go ahead and canonize it. It was not my intent. It definitely would be in her mind if she was coming up with this. So yes, canonized for you.
It's always nice to like ask a thing and Brandon like, yeah, like, no, that's totally, I didn't think about that. That's totally how it works.
Yeah, because it's not like
Yeah,
Brandon's
it's
writing
connection.
from Cultivation's POV and stuff. So
I don't hate this.
Yeah. Like it totally makes sense.
I don't think that this means that obviously this means that any of the other things Cultivation's granted aren't motivated by her dragonness, like whatever she did with Dalinar and Terabanian aren't dragon things, because this is post facto, but it's fun.
sure, yeah. This is more just, oh yeah, if I'm gonna make a construct like this, oh yeah, sure, I kind of know what that's like, right?
I wonder if there's any interesting ideas to explore in the direction of. We know that like dragons deal with emotions, with their like supplicants, with their followers. So like they can send emotion, they can take prayers, stuff like that. We also know that Kravelima Vast was kind of a rebel amongst her kind, in that she didn't want to be this kind of god. And now she has set up shop in the valley, not like a dragon might, right? But she is still this powerful figure that people seek out sometimes. And she establishes kind of connections with them. Like, I think she views them, at least partially, as like chess pieces. Like people that have the potential to act in her benefit, even if she's acting in theirs, circumstantially, at least.
Well, like,
and there's also the like emotions and odium thing, which I don't know if I can take that in any direction, but it's a thing that exists. So I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, something to point out is that like cultivation is not set up in the valley and people are going to her. It's like the Night Watcher is.
Yeah, but she
Which,
kind
like,
of is.
Not to the same extent. Like, I think like she's like keeping like an eye on the Night Watcher, and like when somebody particularly useful for her plans comes along, like she like, no, I'll take this one. But I don't think that's necessarily like the Valley was very much set up for the Night Watcher to learn how people work.
But that's not.
I think that there's definitely a dramatic irony that Brandon intentionally made one of the people who ended up becoming a god someone who specifically didn't want to be a god in the previous life.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the idea that Cultivation didn't want to be a god was in Brandon's mind when he wrote Oathbringer, but I can see it being a factor in her sort of how he's always written her as being aloof to most people.
I'm sure he has like the sketch of all the vessels, and like he's had dragons on his mind for a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's always been part of the character concept.
I mean, did he though? Because like he thought there was only a single dragon vessel at one point, and then Valor came along.
Yeah. You know, sometimes Brandon just forgets about a thing he said 6 years ago, as we've established earlier. I don't know. I feel like it's more like if he's in that brain space, right? Like if he's in Roshar brain space, he's probably dealt with like hashing out honor, cultivation, odium stuff, broad strokes, right? Other shards, like invention stuff, he's like, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. Who's to say, you know? And then maybe he decided, yeah, no, Valor's cooler this way. Because like he probably, like I know he said that he doesn't necessarily have the specific word for the shard for like a long time until like that's recently come about. So I don't know. I think things can solidify later. That's fine. But I will say though, wasn't the Valley basically Cultivation and Honor's nest?
True.
So it wasn't set up for the Night Watcher. It was kind of set up as Cultivation's place. It's just, so I do think that's still Cultivation's center of power.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder where the green smoke went.
It's still there. Vaguely.
Well,
because like Night Watcher is like green smokiness and like blurs into like the undergrowth and all that.
I imagine the Valley's not doing great in the post. You know, in the truth. I would like to go back there though. That would be really cool.
I mean, maybe we'll get a Night Watcher bondsmith, right?
I think
Lift has to go back, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that will be like a big interesting thing for the back five of like what's going on with the Night Watcher. Because like technically like she's purely of cultivation, so like she wouldn't, like she's protected by like the heralds doing the thing because all Threnars, like she wouldn't have been slipped up into odium or retribution, but like she wouldn't have anyways because like she's purely of cultivation.
Yeah, and cultivation.
But like there's also like there's also the thing of like the sibling making rooms for their siblings. So like could she get in and just like bunk with the sibling like once the shield comes down? Like so like she's just Night Watcher's in hiding for the next however many years it's gonna be. And then as soon as that shield goes down, she's like, ooh, I'm going to see my sibling.
Or they have to send, like, Lift needs to go out and get her or something.
That could be fun.
Yeah, that would be a cool.
That would be fun. That makes me very
That would be a
excited
cool, like, book 6 plot of recovering the Night Watcher.
No, that's actually really cool. Like, and quest
like,
to go to this.
If, like, she's been captured in a gem, like the Unmade were, and like we need to recover her gem. Because, like, presumably, Night Watcher Bondsmith can make lifeline. That's been my assumption.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like a source of power for either side that would be interested in.
Yeah, and Retribution side would not want that to get out. That makes sense. This is actually really cool left plot line. I'll be totally honest. This sounds great.
We've had Stormlight 6 plot lines. We've had Ghostblood plot lines.
We've got some Royal Locks King Ridger lore. Clearly the most important of the three. Easy. All right, Ian. We're almost done with Nexus. Wow. We're actually cruising.
So this questioner asks, I know that there's not that much information that we have on Darkside of Haldane. Is there a way that the two types of investiture complement each other in there? Brandon, yes, when we've done our world building, so Isaac really fleshed out the magic from Darkside. Because White Sand, I wrote during an era where I didn't know where the Cosmere was going. The first day I really understood the Cosmere was when I was writing Mistborn. Everything before was kind of prelude. So when Isaac was working on the graphic novel Omnibus of White Sand, he's like, we really need to flesh out this magic system for Darkside. So we had several long meetings and he designed something, and we know how it dovetails together with the magic on Dayside. Someday he might write a book sequel to White Sand. We'll see. I told Isaac that one's his if he wants to write it. Which, that last part is very interesting.
Very new. This is new lore for us.
The Arcanist has moved.
So as someone who hasn't read White Sand, the Darkside investiture that he's talking about are star marks?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
We think?
Yeah, I mean, presumably there's stuff that they do with them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that they can do with them. In fact,
wasn't there like
there's
there is
or something.
Yeah. So the omnibus of White Sand, quote unquote omnibus. What that is pages interspersed throughout. It's more akin to like Shallan's notebook or Navani's notebook, but it's by Chris, where she. It's kind of like. I think this is really cool. I really like the way Isaac has handled it. It's Chris learning how to do Ars Arcanum, in that she's curious and she's investigating Dayside things, and every now and then she will relate them to Darkside things. And in one of those, or in a couple of those, she is comparing the things that Sandmasters can do to the things that people over on Darkside can do with their star marks. And there's like shields and energy projections and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. The more I study Sand Mastery, the more I see connections to the Star Carved of Darkside.
Star Carved, yep.
The sun invests some kind of power into the lichen on the sand, similar to how the particulate cloud sends out a weekly pulse that invests into our star marks, even if only a few chosen seem to be able to access that power. Okay, yeah, so it's the Star Carved.
How is that related to the guy with a star tattoo on his arm in Isles of the Emberdark?
Hopefully poorly.
You know, we are gonna... that is places. Going to be... Don't worry. In upcoming episode, in the next while... Emberdark Mysteries, and we are going to talk about the random guy with a star tattoo who pushed
calendar year 2026
for sure. Probably in between some of these WoB episodes, but I know Bonnie really wants to talk about that
before
guy.
This one.
No, probably not before this one.
He's just,
but
I don't know. He's weird.
That it was one of those inexplicable things at the beginning of the book that went like, okay, sure. So. I think there's some things to talk about. Maybe that was a star mark.
That's not how star marks work.
And you know, it's the far future. What shard evolution happened, Evgeni, and you don't know.
Star marks are invisible to the naked eye and glow in the dark.
Well, you know,
that's a tattoo that he has.
Well, but weren't they on like underground?
They were in a subway, yeah.
So it's darker.
That was illuminated.
But, you know, it's not daytime. Just saying.
That's none of that is how anything works.
I think this is a solid theory. Bonnie has an entire theory. We'll need to get Bonnie on for that one, for sure. I've wanted to do that episode for a while. I very much would love Isaac to, write that one. That'd be very cool. So, come on, Isaac. Let's go. Let's get some books out. Let's get them well received. So we can get some White Sand stuff. Will Brandon want there to be a Darkside novel if he never gets to finish White Sand Prose?
The whole White Sand thing is such a question mark.
Yeah, because it's like,
yeah,
like if Brandon were to write the Darkside book, I feel like he would almost certainly want to do White Sand book first, because I think
that makes sense
for sure.
Nominally speaking, a direct sequel.
Yeah.
Or not even nominally, it's a direct sequel. If it's Isaac,
that doesn't need to be the case.
Potentiality is open. Or like, does Isaac do it as a graphic novel?
I think that's unlikely.
I think that's also unlikely.
Yeah,
you don't want to give Dynamite.
I don't think they've done well with graphic novels, and they're like, oh, like these don't work, and even though I don't think they did it in the best way.
To be fair, the glowing star marks would make the graphic novel look like way more interesting, to be honest.
Like Darkside graphic novel, way more visually interesting than Dayside graphic novel.
Yes,
absolutely. UV ink.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then we'll do a live action version of Darkside where it will be lit way too dark for you to see anything other than the glowing star marks. Nailed it.
Well, that's all you need to see.
Cool. Well, let's go on to our last WoB from Nexus. Wow.
All right, let's wrap this episode up.
Wow.
A questioner says, you've said before that in the second arc of Stormlight that you were going to give us a little bit more about some of the orders. Do you have specifics on which ones of those we'll see a little more of? And Brandon says, you're definitely going to see more dust. You're definitely going to see the Dustbringers a decent amount. They are one of the ones that I've just kind of stayed away from on purpose. So you're going to get some decent amounts of Dustbringers, but everybody that we haven't done a lot of, I want to dig into some more. That's the one thing that's been on the forefront of my mind, is making the Dustbringers work and interesting for people.
I didn't even remember this WoB when I wore this shirt today. Having played a Dustbringer, I would like more details because I feel like there's a few things that are... I definitely have to put in some work to make this coherent, I feel like. And so that would be helpful, Brandon.
Dustbringers are the ones we've seen the least of.
Yeah.
Because, like, Windrunners, we have Kaladin, obviously. Skybreakers, we get with one version of the Skybreakers.
Yeah.
With Seth. Dustbringers. Elsecolors, Edge Dancers, we have Lift. Truth Watchers are another one that's, like, kind of a little murky.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot.
Lightweavers, we see a bunch of. Elsecolors, we get some with Yasna. Will Shapers, we see a bunch of. Stonewards, like, we don't see, but we get a lot of Talm.
Yeah.
We do kind of get the archetypical Stoneward.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we really don't see much of Dustbringer stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'll say I appreciated getting a little bit of like Zoo back in was it Rhythm of War or Oathbringer?
Oh yeah, she's a Stoneward.
She's a Stoneward.
Yeah.
She was great. I loved her.
Yeah, but she was
kind of provided a little bit of,
so
provided a little bit of contrast against like Tone, who was presented as this like very stoic, very rigid figure. And she was kind of like, a little bit carefree, a little bit adventurous. And then her Spren was the one that was the cautious.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, I think Brandon's done a good job with pretty much all of the like minor order side characters, like the Stump lady.
Stump,
Zoo. stone wall or the storm wall, Dami.
Everyone knows Dami.
Stoneward.
Yeah. That was a very prominent Stoneward. Well,
Yeah, but he's
very prominent.
He's very Tolny.
He's very Tolny,
yes.
yeah. Yes. But yeah, like Dustbringer, we had Malata, and then I have recently looked, and Malata not referenced at all in Written in Truth.
Nope. We don't know what's going on with her.
Once in Rhythm of War.
And Reshi King.
Like
Reshi King.
Yeah, Rolna, like he's mentioned to be a Dustbringer, but we don't get any like Dustbringer-ness from him.
Zero
No.
details.
It's just mentioned.
We check in with him a little bit like post transition, and he seems chill, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's like because it's at the beginning of Dawn Shard, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking with Rolna's son, who I don't remember his name.
No.
And it's basically it's like, oh, like don't have him speak with like the other like Dustbringers because they're being sketchy. So like let's have alternate Dustbringer-ness.
Yeah, Skybreakers and Dustbringers definitely suffer from they are the evil order of the first half of Stormlight. The one thing that I'm really excited to see, and I hope that Brendan does that, is I've always like back when the order quizzes were coming out and we were getting like these little essays about them, I've always liked the description of the Elf Scholars, because I'm half Elf Scholar, where they are described as not just scholars, because like it's very easy to think Elf Scholar and think Yasna because she's such a prominent character and member of the order, but they're also like the careful soldier and tactician is also an Elf Scholar. Like I think there's a reasonable argument to be made for those who have played Hades 2 that Odysseus might be an Elf Scholar, personality wise. So I'm really excited to see the non-archetypical versions of a lot of these orders. Like I want to see a Windrunner who is not on the battlefield. I want to see any Dustbringer who is not stereotypically evil.
Eddie.
Like anything that like shows the variety within an order is good.
Yeah.
I think we did like get that in the first half, but it's like entirely Windrunner focused because half the characters in the cast are like former Bridge 4 members.
Yeah.
They all became Windrunners, and so like we got like, you know, Lopin's a different kind of Windrunner than Kaladin is a different kind of Windrunner than Teft. But it would be nice to, if like instead of, you know, in the back half, if we get like a smorgasbord of random.
But they're all
orders.
But they're all fighters, is the thing.
But like Ka is a Windrunner, isn't she? Because like she summons like her friend like as a pet.
As a pen. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But even though she's a scout, I think.
Is she?
A quartermaster or something like that. I thought.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. There is a scout Windrunner. Lynn?
Leighton. No, Leighton is the quartermaster. And then he dies.
I
thought Ka replaced him. I'm not sure.
I do think this is kind of always the intent with the back half. That's like, we are intentionally going to explore some orders later. Yes.
She acts as a scribe for the Windrunners. She is a non-combatant. She is not a scout.
Sure. Yeah, okay, because they can't read and write.
Yeah.
Because she's married to Pete, obviously.
Oh, right.
That's right.
And these are kind of inspired by / declarations for Karen and Peter Alstrom.
Yeah, right.
Head of continuity and head of editorial, respectively.
Right.
This guy's wife.
Hey.
Which presumably, like, we're gonna get a Karen pin.
I'm sure. Yeah. Peter is very, the green hair is very iconic. But I think Ralna is a very interesting Dustbringer because Dustbringers are all about like the power and self-control, and having a ruler be a Dustbringer, I think is very interesting for sure.
Yeah. I agree that it's interesting, like not just to show like a different perspective on like Dustbringers, but like also a different perspective on like kingship.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like the leader archetypes are like the bondsmiths and like the Windrunners.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Herald of Kings is the Windrunner.
Yeah.
Which I think, but like, oh no, like there's more to leadership than just leading.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dustbringer's a really interesting, like, leader order. Order for a leader to be in, excuse me.
There's also the like Taina kind of like the idea of like being, I mean, they're not really in control of the Taina, but like symbolically at least they're like in control of like a vast destructive force and they have to be responsible with it.
They got those kaijus, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
The ones that they use to rescue the mink in Winter Truth Ice. That's one of my pet theories.
Relevant but not relevant. We have an Elf Scholar Queen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. True. For sure.
I saw it.
Wonder which order Gox is going to be.
Well, but Gox is unoathed, so.
Yeah, he's unoathed.
So.
That's right.
So I don't know if he ever
probably
would
stay that way.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, I could imagine unoathed will have like some interesting relationship with Spren. Like, I could imagine unoathed plus a Spren bond being a thing that could occur potentially.
I don't think so. Because
I think they'll have a relationship with their shard Spren.
Mechanically, like it's possible, but like, I think philosophically,
philosophically, probably not.
The unoathed Spren would not be okay with that.
Yeah. Other things I was thinking about with other orders is that Will Shaper were very low just because Venli really has not done very much will shaping, really. And so this actually got me excited thinking about back half Venli, which is not really a character that I've been thinking about back half, and seeing a more grown, mature Venli is actually quite interesting to me, to be honest.
And when you're making the entire population of listeners into will shapers, presumably that's going to result in hopefully some diversity.
Or not necessarily the entire population, but like a lot of, a lot of them are going to be.
I don't know. I just don't like. Oh, will shapers are like the listener order now. I'm like,
no, I don't.
No,
like
there
that
should
either.
be some like non-listener will shapers, and that like should get some other orders represented
with lists.
And I think that's back 5 stuff, right? A lot of the front half is individuals are coming to like spearhead and represent a lot of the orders, right? So all the Windrunners are Kaladin style Windrunners. All the Lightweavers are Shallan style Lightweavers. All the Will Shapers are Venli style Will Shapers. And then I think with a decade between books, as both Spren and people have had more of an opportunity to like explore what it means to be X order, X Spren, then we're going to see more variety in the backpacks.
Yeah, hopefully.
Seems likely.
And also, I am desperate for Ash Spren lore, because let me tell you, World Guide left that wide open for Brandon because clearly Brandon didn't want to canonize things, and that's fine. I'm just saying, I want Ash Spren lore. That would make my life a lot easier, as later today I need to come up with stuff for my Ash Spren. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. So, cool. But I do like hearing about these other orders, and there's definitely space to explore. Will be interesting to deal with the no Stormlight stuff, so I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm glad the Radiants will still be involved. Dustbringers are going to be in there and things, and they have to be, right?
Because like that is part of the structure of the Stormlight archives. Like every Stormlight book focuses on a specific character through flashbacks, and each book focuses on and explores like a particular order in more depth. Not necessarily in equal depth across the board, but one order generally does take some focus.
And I guess one thing that we didn't mention in this swab, but it seems like just by process of elimination, order-wise, Ash needs to be the Dustbringer. Just like Ash
with the Ash Spren.
Well, like, no. Because, like, it's not... Brandon has said, like, it does not need to be a one-to-one, the character and the orders matching up. It's just... Coincidentally, that's how it's always worked.
Well...
Ash with the Ash Spren. I think it just makes sense.
I think it is all but guaranteed that the Ash flashbacks book is going to be the Dustbringer focused book.
I find that likely.
Whether Ash herself will become a Dustbringer is a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen some like speculation that Ash could be like a Stone Ward or something, just like break up the like
like her brother.
subvert expectations or yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing is though, yeah, I don't know. I
do think that it's working out that she'll be. I think she'll have Dustbringer stuff. I think
it'll be Dustbringer stuff personally, because like a Herald bonding a Spren that's not their specific order, like that is interesting because like Nail just bonded.
That is interesting.
So I do think there is some room for that to be quite interesting.
There is. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of like Dustbringer qualities in Ash. Granted, we haven't seen a ton of her.
Well, that's
and
because
she hasn't gone through therapy just yet.
It's like I could see something about like she's like been very destructive and like learning to like control those impulses. I don't know.
Well, but
I can sort of see something there, but
in some sense, any Herald could deal with the struggles of struggling with their power, right? And the responsibility that power has. So, like, I don't think Ash needs to be a destructive person or anything. It's like that can manifest in all sorts of different ways. And I think Heralds definitely can qualify. Why Ash in particular? I don't know. That is an open question, but I think that's possible. Could be someone totally different. I'm just thinking the cast is getting big and we're expanding even more. So, hey.
I would definitely be open for Brandon just like scrapping the entire list of flashback POV characters he's chosen and doing something different if he wants to, like how he swapped Zeth and Dalinar, or how he swapped Venli with Eshonai. Like I would be happy if he feels that in the service of whatever story he's writing, he has to break with the expectations that he set like years and years ago.
Yeah, but
I don't know if
it seems like he has it seems like he has a specific thing for like
Ash and
Ash.
Yeah. Because like Ash is one that we've seen of the Heralds that we saw more than others, for sure.
Yeah. The only one that was a question mark was he wasn't sure whether he was going to give Kaladin a second book.
Yeah. There's still time.
There is still time. Yeah.
Let's get that Tux lore. We're talking about that.
Secret Book 11.
Ooh. Well, it doesn't. With Retribution, does it need to be 10 books anymore?
I don't know. 10 didn't Tanvas say something like 10 has a symmetry to it or something like that?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the symmetry doesn't need to be the
powerful.
Case. Yeah. Could be 11th book, the Secret Kaladin 11th book. That would honestly be really funny if Brandon's like, yeah, Yasna's actually not the last one. The last book is actually book 11, Kaladin.
No, he just repeats what he did with Dark Talon and is like, it ends on another big bummer, and then you turn the page and it's like, haha, I lied. There's another book.
Stormlight Archive, Voidlight Archive, and now it's some other. It's no longer Archive.
You know what Brandon loves to do the most with the long Stormlight books? More of them.
Yeah.
His favorite.
I don't know. Maybe he'll top it off with like a 0.5 style novella. I mean, I don't think so, but
yeah, it's all Kaladin flashbacks.
Hell
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're done with this episode, so we're gonna get on over to Who's That Cosmere Character.
This character is from Roshar.
Menace, Tien, Taln,
Mraze,
Hoid in drag on a horse.
It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character? Caw. Welcome to Who's That Cosmere Character, the game show where you send 5 clues in the character to WTCC at 17shard.com. I read each clue aloud, and after each clue, these guys have a chance to guess Who's That Cosmere character. And this time, we are actually going to do some regular Who's That Cosmere characters, not from the Herald priority queue. It's been a little weird with some Who's That Cosmere characters with the adaptation episode where we didn't. And so anyway, we're getting back to the usual stuff. And this first one is sent from Codenames Are Stupid on Discord. Nice.
Oh, hey, Codenames.
Hello. And clue 1. This character is from Roshar.
Taln.
It's not Taln.
Maya.
It's not Maya.
Gox.
It's not Gox. Clue 2. This character doesn't speak Alethi.
Timbre.
It's not Timbre.
The Stump.
It's not the Stump.
Huio.
It's not Huio. We love Huio.
It speaks a little bit.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
kinda
but
why
like
I
definitely
hesitated,
isn't
but, like,
fluent, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Clue 3. This character is a father.
Aiko's dad.
It's not Akko's dad. Yeah, you know, that works.
Did you
That
mean
checks out.
Aiko's grandfather? Or no, Nodom's grandfather?
Oh, Akko's dad works.
Well, the
Aiko's
spren that was in the hold of the ship that they were in was
the dad, right?
the father.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
father and the
I was
grandfather.
just wasn't there a thing
because
before?
it was Timbre's grandfather, right? That's the
Yeah.
I thought that there was a thing in Rhythm of War about Nodom's grandfather being confused with.
Nodum has conflicting ancestry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because in one book he says like my dad died in the Recreants, and then in Oathbringer he's like my great grandmother was created by the Stormfather after the Recreants.
oh,
It's like those can't happen.
well,
Yeah.
Rip.
Is it? My guess is Elodie.
It is not Elodie. Ooh. Legally distinct from hell.
legally distinct.
Well, I'm requiring on that. That info needs to be correct for my clue to be valid, I think.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So I believe it was Nan-Balat who was breeding axe hounds. And one of them had just had a bunch of pups in one of Shallan's interludes. So
Okay.
I'm guessing, obviously not her, but the father of those pups.
Okay.
Well, I do think that wouldn't speak Alethi, so, fair. It does fit the clues, but no, it's surprisingly not that axe hound. I know.
Shocking that I was wrong about that.
I wouldn't have put it past code names for that to be the answer. To be honest.
Hey, look,
I'll give them ideas.
sometimes you got to think outside of the sanity box.
Yeah. Clue 4. This character is loyal to those who help them. Or him.
Oh, it's the guy who is the Thalen guy
Musk.
who meets up with Adolin because Adolin saved his son. So he's like, I'm signing up for Adolin.
Yeah.
It is
Hamask.
Hamask. Yes. Ian gets the point. Bam. Clue 5. What do you think about this clue 5, Ian? This character is not invested.
Oh, because he becomes an unoath.
Yeah.
Right?
That's I was like, I can see what Codenames is going for, right?
Invalid because all Rosharans are invested.
Ah,
Wow.
contradictory clues by default. But it's like they have a blade and plate, but they're not like using surges. So I get what they're going for, right?
I would not consider it. According to our understanding of the unoathed at present, I would not consider them invested.
Okay.
Any more so than like having like a shard blade bond. Which I
Counterpoint.
wouldn't.
The Compromise does consider Shardbearer to be an ability. I have to
Yeah,
point
but that's
out.
not the same
Well,
thing.
We
Ability
we
is
have to make some
broad on the
sacrifices for the
Compromise.
Coppermind.
Cartography is an ability.
Yeah, like axe hounds are characters, like spread our life forms. Don't take it too literally.
Those are both completely accurate things, Eric.
That's fine. I'm just
I think
you can't consider ability to mean invested ability because like there's cytonics and things and all sorts of things, right?
What's the hemalurgic definition of ability?
I don't know.
we have a WoB that doesn't make sense. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go on to the next one before we get on that tangent. This next one is from Twinstorm. Clue 1. This character has a goal.
Hoid.
It's not Hoid. What is it?
That's knowing what the goal is not part of the
It's true. It's true.
clues so far.
To be fair, it is true.
Teravagian.
It's not Teravagian. Yeah. That does qualify for sure.
Raise.
It's not Raise. Clue 2. This character is noticeable even in a crowd.
Axes.
It is Axes. Yay! Wow.
Not bad.
Very good.
Nonchalant just walked up to the right answer and was like, "You're it."
You're it. Clue 3. This character has tattoos. Clue 4. This character can manipulate their body. And clue 5. This character is from Roshar. They're both from Roshar.
Cannot escape.
Axes
the
have
Roshar.
tattoos.
Yeah.
His skin changes in a way that resembles tattoos in a way that is indistinguishable from other people. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. I see what you mean, Ian. Fair point.
Has he been tattooed?
Well, the Compromise does say his body is covered in tattoos. So.
And now we're going to go on to our Who's That Cosmere character priority queue. Because we made good time on those other two, so let's get to it. And you can submit Who's That Cosmere characters to our priority queue by supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/17shard and being a herald there. And then we'll read it, not years later. So that's nice.
And if you are a herald and you have children, let us study them.
That can't be the title for the episode. That can't be. That will not be monetized. That will not be monetized.
Oh, that's true.
on
Oh,
YouTube.
true. Okay, yeah. We cannot afford to lose the Shardcast ad revenue.
Yeah, like it's pretty puny. It's non-zero though. It's non-zero. And so anyway, this one is from Bean the Boy 12. Hayona is screaming outside. Clue 1. This character has been haunted by ghosts of their past.
How literal is that going to be?
Yeah.
Silence Montaigne.
It is not Silence.
Theopolis.
It is not Vin. It's not Theophilus. Nice. All right. Clue 2. This character has issues with their childhood faith.
Dalinar?
So, very interestingly,
Hmm.
it is actually Dalinar, but these clues refer to more than one character. And so we're going to keep going.
What?
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay. All right.
And so there's multiple.
Nicaro.
It's not Nicaro.
I mean, I'll steal that idea and go with Yumi.
It's not Yumi. Excellent. Clue 3. This character is strongly associated with one of the colors of the rainbow. Asterisk.
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
I
yes.
don't need to know that. It's Vivenna.
It is not Vivenna. Sorry. I will say it again. This character is strongly associated with one of the colors of the rainbow, asterisk.
Is it like some ultraviolet or some like infrared?
Ultraviolet? No, Dalinaro's already guessed.
Is it Teravangian?
It's not Teravangian.
Blue fingers.
It is not Blue Fingers. Ooh, okay. Ooh, we're cruising through these.
This is gonna be anyway.
Clue 4. This character's name is 7 letters long.
Oh no, you can't send clues.
Can
like
you
that.
relist all of them while we're thinking?
I absolutely can do that. This character.
Is it Kaladin?
Okay, all right. That is another one of the characters. But is not. There are, in fact, more characters.
Are there 10 characters?
No, there are not 10
Yeah,
characters.
okay.
But anyway, so the clues are: this character has been haunted by ghosts of their past.
Okay.
This
I forgot
character,
that one.
this character has issues with their childhood faith. This character is strongly associated with one of the colors of the rainbow, asterisk. And then this character's name is 7 letters long.
The asterisk has to be like the non-visible spectrum.
That's not part of the rainbow, though.
Is it not, or can we just not see it?
Like, I feel like the rainbow is this inextricably tied to the visible spectrum. It's Roy G. Biv.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is you guys didn't lose. You as a group. Adam has won twice. But there are more.
Still only counts as one.
Yeah. Well.
I feel like I just can't remember all of these clues at once. What was clue number 4?
Kelsey?
7 letters. 7 letters. Okay.
7 letters. Is Kelsier your guess?
Kelsier is my guess, yes.
It is not Kelsier. Sorry. That is not one of the characters.
Okay.
What? Who in the Cosmere is associated with colors?
I mean, like, feels like half the characters.
Any radiant.
Any radiant. Half the people on Roshar. All the Alethi.
Eshonai?
It's not Eshonai. Clue 5. At the end of a book, this character makes a sacrifice akin to death to protect an adversary.
Oh, Hrathen.
Hrathen is one of the answers, but there is still one more.
There is another?
The last one is the hardest one, though.
There is another. End of a book.
All right, this is good. This is good. I like this. I have a whole key and everything of how to evaluate this and things.
Tensoon?
You already guessed.
Oh.
Light Song, Larimar. Stenimar. No, Stenimar is not 7 letters long.
Okay. Hey.
How many more characters are there?
There is one more.
Also, his sacrifice is not akin to that. He dies.
Well, Dalinar also dies.
Point. That's a fair point.
Dalinar also dies. Yeah. Objection.
No, Light Song re-dies.
That's... The fact that you've died before does not prevent you from dying again.
Death 2.0.
Death 2.0. Electric Boogaloo. I mean, in theory, this should be like super... I just need to go down the list of books, right? Because...
The last one is harder than the others, I think. I think after these guesses on this round, I think everyone deserves another guess to see if we can get the last character here. I think that's appropriate, but that is the last clue.
It's specifically at the end of a book.
It says, at the end of a book, this character makes a sacrifice akin to death to protect an adversary.
Bleeder?
It is not Bleeder.
I've got my next guess.
Okay. All right.
That it does cover some of the clues.
Kenny's just dead. You're muted.
Oh, that's silly.
Ah, have you been talking this whole time and you've just been muted and I can't hear you?
I mean, not this whole time. I've been muttering names that are all either 6 or 8 letters.
Ah, okay. Well, so we've missed something whatsoever.
And also color of the rainbow. I'm not even like processing that right now.
Yeah. I like the rainbow one for this character, but they do admit this one is a bit of a stretch for that specific clue. But I see the vision, so I think it's fair.
Okay. I feel like I have a good option for the Spectrum one.
Okay.
I
think it works, but I think someone could disagree that it doesn't work, if that makes sense.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, I fully do not even have a guess.
Do you want to pass?
Well, didn't
I
thought
think
we
I
were
want.
waiting on Adam.
No, we're waiting on
I guessed Bleeder. Bleeder.
Yeah, no, you were waiting on me, and I just do not have anything. Yeah, I'll pass.
Okay, all right. Bonus
Is
guesses.
it Rabonial?
It is not Rabonial.
Sibling?
It's not the sibling.
Okay.
Also Rabonio, 8 letters.
Oh.
What about her original name?
That was 5.
Only 5 letters.
All right, Evgeni, you can pass. End this.
I mean, I passed on the previous one. I didn't have a penultimate guess. I'm not gonna have an ultimate. Like all my ones were like, is it Steris? Is it Marasi? Is it
No. Okay, this last one is Zellion, literally haunted by Kaladin in Sunlit Man. Zellion doesn't believe in the Azish religion.
Kaladin doesn't show up.
Yeah.
It does not literally haunt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of haunted. So I thought about Cantico and I thought about Nomad. I didn't freaking think about Zellion as an option.
It's his name now. That is his name now. So, Then, there's the orange color scheme in that art when he's got the armor. So, that, I think that's a stretch. I think that's fine.
Okay, that is a stretch.
But saving wit at the end of Wind and Truth with the Dawn Shard, I do think that works for the big sacrifice. Because that was a huge deal. Resilient, I think. I think that works.
Regardless, that's not a sacrifice akin to death.
Well, I mean,
he is as opposite of death as one can get.
Yeah,
one might argue.
You could say that's his fate is worse than death.
I mean, but that's future stuff. That's
okay.
The thing he does there, not akin to death.
Okay, well,
yeah.
So I think
that's fine. The others were good.
I think we have to give this to Adam because he guessed both Dalinar and Kaladin. Though the characters ranked by difficulty were Kaladin, Dalinar, Hrathen, and Zellion. So Hrathen, I do think was harder than the other two to get. So I was like,
I think I was at a disadvantage there, having not read Elantris.
Yeah, okay. That's a fair point. Yes. On that note, come find us on 17shard.com for all news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could ever want. And you support our Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/17shard. Oh yeah, I guess we already plugged the Discord, but discord.gg/17shard.
Yeah. Don't
organic advertising.
Organic.
Come to Discord.
Don't be Harmony. Come to Discord.
That's true.
Harmony's a different app we'll make.
No. Well, I mean, Discord wants to ask you for your face and state ID, so I don't know. Maybe we're going to migrate over to Harmony.
Can we just get Marvin to make an app called Harmony and it's just a blank screen where nothing happens.
Wasn't that a dating app?
eHarmony?
eHarmony, yeah, no, for
was
sure.
it eHarmony? Okay,
It was eHarmony, not Harmony. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Sorry to say.
come find us there.
Come find us there. We all got profiles there. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe we'll do more WoBs. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. Check out the Backer Kit crowdfunding campaign. I got it. For the Hoid Storybook things, which is going on right now. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye. Ta-ta.
Ta.